My name is Keith Eric Alston. I'm an artist, and I write sometimes as well. I I grew up in Miami, Florida. I went to art magnet schools in Miami, Florida. So I'm actually a lifelong artist. I've always been creative. Later in life, I took up writing, and I'm doing pretty well with that as well. But I went to art magnet schools starting from 7th grade all the way through high school graduation. I graduated from a high school called New World School of the Arts in Miami, Florida. You know, what I happen to be working on right now, I'm working on a project. This is for my pastor's daughter. And on the bottom, it's going to have spotlights. It's also going to have the Hollywood sign. And it is going to have, she's going to put 4 of her headshots on the wall. And we're going to work that mural around the headshots. What's going to happen is she'll put her pictures inside frames that I paint. The frames are going to look like, you know, in the old Hollywood style movies, the way they have mirrors with the bulbs, the lit bulbs around the makeup mirrors. But what I'll do is maybe by showing you this piece that I'm putting into the show. But one of my fortes in art is collage. I would say it's the best thing that I do because there's more freedom to it. And this is a collage, and I'll read the print. The theme of the show is art in recovery, or how we use our art as a tool in our toolbox towards recovery. But this piece is about me as a phoenix, and here you see the lettering, me the phoenix, rising from the ashes and the forest of pains. I drew this banner and cut it out and pasted it down. Collage is cutting and pasting different things and putting it together, if you don't know what collage is. But I would say collage is my forte, and I'm very pleased with the way this piece came out. Here's me as the phoenix, rising from the ashes. Here's, I cut out different cloud shapes and outline them. And then, so here's, you have clouds, and then I used gloss medium and different colors to highlight the clouds. What I did, yeah, I was really, when I heard about the theme and title of the show, when I heard recovery, I just thought of myself as, because I've had a lot of ups and downs in my life, and I thought, what am I about? And I don't know, I just thought about what am I about, and then the phoenix rising from the ashes came to me, and I was obsessed with that until I finished the piece. I definitely use my creativity as a tool in my toolbox to get through. Sometimes art is just an exercise. Sometimes art is just entertainment. Sometimes art is just, sometimes it's just a job. If you're good at it, you people appreciate it and you do it as a job. But I don't know. I think it's what's the word? Like a catharsis. It's therapy, and it keeps me going quite often. And I never knew when I first developed my talents, I didn't think that it would be used as a type of therapy, really. It was more of just an imaginary getaway, you know, like creating my own stories and creating comic books and whatever it is that I, you know, did. But it's definitely it's healing. It's healing for me and others as well.
Hi, my name is Ronald Sean Reagan, and I want to introduce my artwork. And I'm a type of person that likes a lot of action stuff and military stuff, and this is about one guy that's transforming a bad world into a good world. And he's the global artillery marine agent. And it's like a one-man strike force mission that's substantial. I'm just being creative, and it took me a week to do this project. Yeah, those are the bad guys.
And down here, what's different about down here?
Down here is like leaves, angels, stars, and some people enjoying the day, where there's no violence and where there's no I'm gonna say this, no conflict, nothing. Everything is good.
And which world do you like better?
This world. Destroy all wars, conflicts, gangs, enemy, and criminal combatment and crime anywhere in the world. You know how kids say in school, oh, stay away from that guy, or he looks weird. He look like he doing his own thing. And it hurts. How can I say this? That saying right there that I feel odd when I'm around certain kinds of people. It's really like I'm expressing my anger in my artwork. Because someone told me before, my anger, it comes out in my artwork when I get mad because people don't understand me. And I would like to draw some different stuff, like peaceful stuff and stuff that, I'm not gonna say this, that's clever or sarcastic, besides all the military stuff and the weapon stuff. Because I just wanted to see if my artwork is offensive or not, especially around people twice my age and senior citizens, because I'm from a different generation than they were. And I hope they understand it, and I hope it's not offensive. I hope to get out of it by them saying that I'm a very good artist. I have good class, I guess I could say, or a good mind of making things make sense and putting things together. Yeah, because when I finish with it and come up with a good idea so people can understand it, so no one will misinterpret it, it makes me feel good.
My name is Mark Lee Wiley. I don't know, like surfing, skateboarding, motorcycles, and driving too fast. I don't know, I just really enjoy creating things. You know, it makes me feel really good. Sort of like, when I do something I really like, it makes me feel good for days after I do it, you know. And I usually I have it all at home, and my walls are covered with stuff. And I just like having it around me. This one is sort of a miracle that I did it. I did it in 45 minutes. And I was just like, I put some black down, some like green and red and yellow, and I started mixing colors, and it just sort of happened. I wasn't even really aware that I was doing it. Like, I usually paint on canvas, but I don't know, I sort of knew that like if I painted on that texture would come out. It's just wood particle board, you know. And I knew that texture would come out. I didn't have any idea I was I was painting all those images. I was just mixing colors. I was just mixing colors on that piece of wood. I mean, you know, there's obviously a man and a woman here, an African-American woman, and a woman across the top, the Grim Reaper right there. That's what I call the evil man. A woman on a frozen lake. You know, it's just sort of amazing. Anyway, I'm gonna do a lot more on this type of wood. This frozen lake, that would be a topographical view of a lake that we used to hang out on in Alabama. That lake is laid out just exactly like that, with the coves and the areas. And like I said, I had no idea I was doing it. And when I sat back and looked at it, it's a topographical view of that lake. I mean, that's exactly how that lake is laid out. It's not that difficult to do and doesn't cost that much money, and it, it's really therapeutic. I mean, it's really just as simple. I mean, you create things that you're proud of, and it just makes you feel good about yourself. You know, that's all there is to it. You create things, you're proud of them. You hang them on the wall, you feel good about yourself. You know.
Well, my name's Stephen Poirier. I'm from Massachusetts area. I grew up most of my life in South Carolina and North Carolina. I've been interested in art and writing most of my life. Well, I think, and I've learned, I've been working through on my recovery for most of my life. The diagnosis and misdiagnosis over the years. And I find that what I've come to learn through many people is that we all have inside us this person. A lot of people refer to it as your inner self. That is who you were meant to be. Not your job title, not the thing you went to college for, but the inside here. And it takes a long time to find it, and sometimes we find it and it's stepped on, and which was, in my case, part of the reason I let it go. Trying to get back to that inner self, that's kind of, I guess, how I would define it. It is, I am primarily a writer, but I do like to do art and view art. With my particular work I did when I was in California a few years ago, it just was sort of a representation of how the trip went, and I like the idea of recycling things into new things. Like, for example, the work is made of, I took a lot of photographs when I was there, and it's made up of the remnants of duplicates and mistakes and into this work of art. So I think that helps you get at the soul of things, of what you're feeling and what you're experiencing. I was at a low point in my life where I was basically about at the point of financial ruin, but I had enough money to take one final trip, and I took it to California for my birthday, and I stayed through Pride, which is Gay Pride. It's a celebration that goes for weeks, if not a month, and had a very good time. I also closed out quite a few bank accounts in the process, but I enjoyed myself. And then when I got back, I was resided to staying with my parents for a little while, and then I had all these photos. So I decided this would give me something to do, and just the project just developed. Mm-hmm. You know, I took sections of streets and made streets, and I took sections of the parades and made parades, mm-hmm. cut out buildings and placed them around, pictures from the hotels, made the airplane out of the wings and parts of the airplane that I photographed out the window, mm-hmm. same thing with the clouds. Just kind of fun to play around with reality. Mm-hmm. The piece is called San Francisco Daydream. Could be called a few other things, I suppose, but it kind of it's represents a memory to me, or sort of a part of a memory. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when I write, mm-hmm. like doing art. I think it's the same way, or music. Mm-hmm. It's kind of when you're coming up with it, you come up with a start, and then the work makes itself. Mm-hmm. It just kind of gets your brain kind of tweaked, and then once you start, it just goes on its own way. Mm-hmm. At least that's the way my mind works. Mm-hmm. Well, it helps and it hurts. Mm-hmm. I think it helps it helps you get out of some of what's in here and bring it out in the world in a very natural, sort of fulfilling way, not only for you but for the reader or the person that views the art or buys that piece of furniture that they've fallen in love with, or etc. But it it helps you work out demons. The problem is while you're doing that, if you get caught up in too many projects, you get overwhelmed. It's a big issue for me. Otherwise, I would produce much more. But I'm working on those. It is useful to direct your intention on one specific thing. Mm-hmm. However, you also have to remember that there's other things out there and figure out how to get back to those as well, which I'm still working on that. Mm-hmm. Like they say, there is no cure, there's only recovery. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I could say one other thing. I think any form of art, writing, it's a way of expressing your demons and your soul. Your joy and your pain, what you find comfortable, what excites you. It's just a vast spectrum of emotion, mm-hmm. and your soul that you can, if you feel comfortable, well, for one thing, you can get it out of you and put it down. And if you get to the point that you're comfortable, you can share that with somebody else. Maybe it'll have some meaning that will bring the same out in them.